back to my channel. My name is Noelle, and as you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be all about what I wish I knew before I started college, before my freshman year of college, just my advice to those who are starting college. I feel like this could go for everybody who's still in college. You know, different circumstances apply. You might be transferring from like a community college to a university, so like that makes a difference. So yeah, I don't know, just this is for everybody, but especially for my incoming freshmen, because I know this is a whole new world, especially if you're leaving home, living on campus. Like, it's gonna be so different for you. Like, there's no other words to describe it. But I'm here with my tips and tricks, my advice. So let's get into it. So this is my number one tip. I didn't really put these in like an order, but like I feel like this thing that I'm about to say is so vital and so important that people do not take the time to acknowledge in college, and that is to take advantage of your alone time. Please take advantage of it, especially if you go to a big university, if you have multiple roommates or suite mates in your room. Take advantage of any alone time you get, because chances are you don't get a lot, especially in your first year of college, especially being a freshman, be having roommates that you might be sharing a room with your roommates. You should probably share bathrooms with your roommates, or you have a community bathroom. Your classes are full, the library is full, coffee shops are full, like literally everything is full. So the times that you can be alone in your room or like by yourself, really take advantage of those and really like do whatever you need to do to enjoy that time, whether it be relaxing, doing things that just really fill you up, or taking a nap, or especially if you're like a person who needs quiet to sleep. Different things for different people, but take advantage of it. I didn't realize how much like quietness and quiet time that I get while being at home. I have my own room in my house. I live in the suburbs, like it's quiet. Whereas when I was going to college in the city and I had 3 roommates my second year of college, I had 4 roommates. I just didn't notice how much of a difference it was until I was back at home. So really take advantage of your alone time if you can. If you're a person that loves to be around people and you never need to be by yourself, then you're good. But like I know that most people, I feel like, probably need some alone time just to recharge. And alone time can also be like getting breakfast or getting lunch or getting dinner by yourself. I definitely think that I felt like I had to always be with somebody when I would go to the dining hall, or when I would go out to eat, or go to the library or the gym my freshman year. And that's not true at all. Like, you're around people all the time, so take advantage of your alone time. It's vital, in my opinion. I hear mixed opinions about this, but I very much believe that rate my professor is your friend. Like, use it to your advantage. It's there for a reason. Of course, use discretion when you're using the website, because some students just get really angry at a teacher and they just leave a nasty review on there. But if you have like 50 students straight in a row saying this teacher's hard, this teacher can't teach, then I don't think it's the students, I think it's the teacher. So use Rate My Professor. Usually stuff on there is accurate, and also leave reviews on there too for your teachers, because I most definitely have, whether it was a good teacher or a bad teacher, I left a review. Like, no one was getting off scotch-free being with me. Okay, so use Rate My Professor, especially when it comes to those core classes like your sciences and your maths, whatever your major is, whatever like is core for your major. Really take advantage of those professors that are listed on Rate My Professor, because these professors are important. They're teaching the subjects that are important for your major and your life. So I suggest you use that website. Okay, I think it is very vital that you figure out how and like when you like to study, or when to do homework, or just like any assignments that you have to do for class, because if you don't really have a good understanding of when you want to do that stuff, then it's gonna be hard for you to figure out. Some people work best in the mornings and the daytime. Some people work best at night. I'm a person who works best at night. I feel like I'm a vampire or an owl or a bat or something, because I work best at night, honestly. I just do. So figure out your time, figure out where you like to study. If you're a person that's perfectly fine with studying in your dorm room, then study in your dorm room. Me personally, I was not a person that liked to study in my dorm room. I like to study where there was other people around. I like studying in libraries, just different stuff like that. So figure out where you like to study, what you like to study, if you like to listen to music when you study, just different things. Of course, not every major requires like major studying, but for me personally, my major, I do have to study for it. So figuring out how I like to study is vital. And also schedule your class times around that too. So if you like studying or being up at night and you're fine with being up at night, take classes at night. Now I do like studying at night, but I would never take classes at night. So just figure out what works best for you. You might not figure it out right away. You definitely might not you probably didn't fully figure it out in high school, because high school studying and college studying is just completely different. And I feel like your options are limited in high school because you really just have your house and maybe a nearby library, but at college you have a lot more like places and options. But figure it out. You might not figure it out until a whole semester goes by. You might not figure it out until all your first tests. So yeah, just figure out what works best for you. Figure out if you can eat and study. Figure out just, you know, whatever it takes for you to succeed and get your best grades. Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion, but also a popular opinion at the same time. Sometimes you just do not have to go to class. Like, I know it feels like you need to go to every class, and don't worry, I'm not promoting not going to class. I'm not promoting that at all. I think it's very important to go to class, especially if attendance is required in your class and attendance is a part of your grade. Even if the attendance is 5%, baby, go to class and sign your name on that sheet, because that 5% could really help when you get a 67 on your second test because you were not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So go to class, but sometimes I just don't feel like class is always necessary, especially for these prereqs. Freshman years, a lot of stuff you can do online. A lot of my work freshman year was online, using the online textbook. And I know a lot of people say you don't need to buy the textbooks for everything, which is probably true, but for me, online, we had to have the textbooks like to do our homework freshman year, especially for my first semester. So a lot of times I could just do work in the class. Sometimes the teacher is, I don't know, it just depends on you and how your brain works. I feel like if you have to study for another test in another class, you could probably skip that one class. If your teacher is one of those teachers where everything they say in class is going to be on the test, then obviously go to that class. I just don't, and I'm not saying to skip class because you're lazy and you're tired and whatever. Just, I mean, if you need to skip class because you have, like, you're really tired and you're not going to focus and you need to sleep, then do that. But like take skipping class with discretion. I'm not saying to skip every class. I'm not saying to never go to class. I suggest going to class. I don't think I ever really skipped class like that. I probably did once or twice. But I suggest going to class, but I'm just saying you don't always have to go. Like, you really don't. Especially if your teacher does not do anything vital to your life. But on the topic of going to class, when you do go to class, go, in my opinion, sit in the front or at least the middle part of your class, especially if it's a core class, especially if it's a big class. Like, sit to where the teacher can see you, because the teacher will get used to your face. Teacher will probably know your name, especially if it's in a big class and you're going to a big university. It's hard for teachers to know everybody's name by face, but if you're going to the class and you're sitting in the front, chances are they're going to know your name and they're going to know your face, and that might help you in the long run. So in my opinion, sit in the front of your class. I didn't sit in the front of my class in all my classes. I don't think I really started purposely trying to sit in the front of my classes until my sophomore year of college. Yeah, definitely not first semester. But so that's really up to you. But I suggest sitting in the front. Of course, it's a little, like, you can't really just be doing nilly-willy in the front. I mean, sometimes you can, but you really can't. So yeah, that's my advice on that. And then also on the topic of sitting in front of class, professors and all that, I do not think going to office hours is always necessary. Like, it's not. If you have like one question to ask the professor, you do not need to wait till Tuesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. to ask that question. You can really ask your professor the question after class. I've asked many professors questions after class, and I did not go to their office hours. Obviously, if you want to talk about something more important like your grades or a test or like more detailed stuff, then office hours are essential. And some professors really like when students come to office hours. It might help your grade. And then also, one of my teachers, like, she added a couple bonus points to our test if we came to office hours. It wasn't a lot, but I mean, better than nothing. So my point is, office hours are not always essential. Like, if you think that you have to wait till office hours to ask them this one question about something they said in the lecture, you do not. Like, that's a lie. That's false. A lot of times you can also just email them, and usually they respond quickly. I've always had professors respond to me relatively quickly. So yeah, you do not, especially if the office hours don't coincide, like, they don't match up with your schedule, like you have something else going on, whether that be work, class, or something. Sometimes you're not able to go to their office hours. So use that time after class. Use your email. There's a reason why they have email. Just use it. I do not recommend going home every single weekend, and I don't recommend staying in your dorm all the time, especially if you're a freshman, and especially if you want to make friends and that type of thing. But yeah, I don't recommend going home every single weekend because you truly, this beeping is throwing me off. Yeah, so I don't recommend going home every single weekend. I don't recommend staying home in your dorm all the time. Of course, if you're one of those people that don't feel like you need to have friends, or you might have a little bit of social anxiety, that's a completely different situation. But if you're like a person who's pretty fine with people and all that stuff, I don't recommend going home every weekend, especially because probably most of the fun and excitement, especially living on campus as a freshman, happens over the weekend. So I don't recommend going home because you're gonna miss it. And I feel like I met a lot of people that lived on my dorm, on my floor over the weekends, not during the school week because we would all be in class or be in our dorms in the evening. But on the weekend is where you might meet a lot of people. On the weekend is where lots of functions are going on, whether that be football games or basketball games. And I know depending on your school, football games or basketball games are probably really fun events, or you might miss out on parties, or you might miss out on just other weekend stuff that might be going on in the area. So I don't recommend going home every single weekend. Of course, if you're homesick and you miss your family, miss your parents, and you're not enjoying your time, do not force yourself to be at school. Of course, that's just miserable. I recommend going home. Everyone needs time back at home, especially if you miss your parents and all that stuff, and you miss home cooking. But don't go home every weekend, like if you just don't need to because you just don't feel comfortable. Really try and branch out and really try to meet people and see people. People are a lot nicer than they look, especially on campuses. I know for me, going to school in Atlanta, people look really hard, really mean. The girls look really like they're too good for me, but that's not true at all. Like, people are a lot nicer than they look. So give people a chance, just like you want people to give you a chance. Give people a chance, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't go home every weekend, okay? Please don't do it. Don't promise me you're not gonna go. Pinky, promise me you're not gonna go. Okay, we pinkied. Okay, another opinion I want to put out there is that this is not even an opinion, this is a fact. Parties are not the only fun thing to do in college, okay? They are just not. I swear, right before I started college, like, everyone would just talk to me about parties and parties. All the videos on YouTube would be about parties and parties. I can count on one hand how many parties I went to my whole entire freshman year. I probably went to like 4, maybe 5. I don't know, not a lot. I didn't go to a lot. I never paid for a party either, ever. Do not pay for a promoted party, please. Just don't pay for it. That's just stupid to me, especially if they're asking you to pay like $20. Like, $20? Do you know what else $20 could get you? And the party might not even be fun. That's what's crazy. Like, I would hear people say they paid for more parties and they weren't even fun parties. The parties might not even be fun. So do not pay. Please do not pay for a party. And parties are not the only fun thing, especially if you're going to school in the city, like a major city like Atlanta, New York, somewhere in California, Nashville maybe. Like, they have a lot of other stuff going on. There's museums, there's restaurants, there's art galleries, there might be concerts going on. Like, I swear that people thought they just had to go to parties at 11 o'clock at night and come back at 3, and that was the epitome of fun. And I mean, if that's what you like to do, then that's what you like to do. But for those of you who are just like, I don't know if the party scene is going to be for me all the time, then most definitely take my advice. And when I say there's other things to do, there really are. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the parties I did go to were fun. I did have a good time. I met people kind of sometimes. They were not the only highlights of my whole entire freshman year. Please believe me when I say that you can have other fun besides parties. Like, there's a whole world out there. So yeah, I know it's also different depending on the schools, because some schools are really in the middle of nowhere and all they have is fraternity. But if you're going to a school with, like, there's lots of different options and things around, please just try doing other things. Like, it's possible to have fun and not be partying, not be drunk. I don't want anyone to think that I'm coming off a high horse when I'm saying that. Like, I'm really not. I'm not, but I'm just saying it for those people who are like me and don't want to party all the time. There's other things to do. Okay, moving on. Also, an important factor I want to put in there regarding majors. I know there's a lot of pressure in this world that we live in to just know what you want to do as soon as you graduate high school. Just know what you want with your life. Just know all your interests. And this goes beyond major. Like, know what you want in friendships. Know what you want in a partner. Know what you want about your, like, where you want to live. Like, that's not the case. Like, people, you're gonna change so much in your first year of college. No way that you go through 1 or 2 years of college and not change from the time you graduate high school. Like, and even if it's in the littlest bit, you don't stay stagnant. Like, you just don't, going off to college. So which is a good thing. Like, change is good. So don't feel pressure to need to know what you want to do with your life as soon as you start college. I know some schools like Columbia, Stanford, and probably some other schools I don't know about don't let their freshmen pick majors. They just make them take a whole bunch of different courses. And I personally feel like all the colleges should do that, but I don't know why they don't. It's probably a money thing. But yeah, I think that's awesome because not everyone knows what they want to do. And something you might choose to do when you're a freshman, you might completely want to change by the time you're a sophomore or junior. People change their minds about their lives all the time. People switch their careers all the time, way out of college. People go back to college because they don't want to do what they originally went to college for. So please don't feel this pressure to be decided on a major as soon as you start college. I had like different interests I wanted to do, but I knew for a fact I pretty much want to do nursing. But there were many times where I thought about counseling, I thought about being a physician assistant, I thought about social work. Social work was really on my mind for a while. A lot of other people wishes they were just undecided when they first started out. So please stay undecided. Like, do not feel forced to a major because, like, who made that up? Like, who literally made that up? So don't pick a major just because of money. Like, if it's something you love to do and you're gonna make money off of it, then that's fabulous. But if you're picking a major specifically for money, I think you're gonna be miserable. Like, I just really think you are. And money is a great thing to have, of course, especially if you have expensive tastes, okay? Especially if you have expensive tastes. Money's a great thing to have to come to buying homes and clothes and shoes and paying for your bills and just all sorts of stuff. But money's not everything, okay? Because it's just not. Of course, I would love to have $10 million right now. $10 million would solve a lot of different things for me. It would help a lot, but so don't pick something just because of money. Like, that's not realistic. It's okay for money to be a factor. It's okay to want to be economically stable. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, no one's going to college just to be broke. Still, like, no one wants that. But don't make that your only driving force for picking a major. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And my last thing I want to add is that your freshman year, college, everything goes by so fast. I know I'm not done with college yet, but I'm starting my junior year in about 2 or 3 weeks. It really went by so fast, and don't know where the time has went, truly. I just don't. I really wish I could start it over again because my freshman year of college was just very, very fun, and I just don't think a lot of people realize how fun it is until they become a sophomore. But yeah, it goes by really fast, so just enjoy it. Try to enjoy as much as you can. Try to live drama free. Try to get good grades so that you enjoy it even more. And yeah, just enjoy life. Enjoy as much as possible. Take new adventures, try new things, try new styles, try new foods, meet lots of people, whatever. Don't get caught up on a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Trust me, especially in college, don't do that. Just enjoy it. Save your money, but also spend your money. And don't compare yourself to people. Don't compare yourself to other girls, other boys, whoever is watching. Don't compare yourself academically. Don't compare yourself physically. Like, everyone's going through the same stuff, okay? Like, everyone has issues, even Beyonce. So, like, don't even compare yourself to people, and just live your life as best you can. Like, college years, these years from 18 to 22, 23, whatever, they're years you're never gonna get back. So try to really enjoy them and make the best. Take lots of pictures of everything. I'm a picture taker. I love taking pictures. So take a picture. If you're in college, then I hope you have a great first year of college. And if you're watching this and you've already like been in college, I hope you just have continued success throughout the college. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Especially subscribe to your girl. It will really support me and help me out a lot, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.